Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you new videos every day, Monday through Friday, with in-depth analysis of your Green Bay Packers. So hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we're going to discuss our 53-man roster projections as of now, with one preseason game remaining. There's 90 players fighting for those 53 spots. You'll also have 15 players on the practice squad, and they could also add the one international player to the practice squad without sacrificing one of the 15 spots. And look, these projections are obviously subject to change depending on what happens in the last couple of weeks of training camp, what happens Saturday in the preseason finale. But as of right now, here's where I think we stand. Quarterbacks, we're going to keep two, and it's obviously going to be Jordan Love and Malik Willis, starter and backup. The battle is for the third quarterback spot. That will likely be a practice squad player. Is it Sean Clifford or Taylor Elgersma? And look, Clifford has more experience. Elgersma has more upside. The winner of this battle ends up on the practice squad. I think it should be Elgersma, but we'll see what Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur decide. Running back is going to be tricky. I still think they keep three at this point. Josh Jacobs, obviously the starter. I think Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks will also make the team. And unfortunately, again, it's very possible that Marshawn Lloyd, who showed some promise against the Colts, ends up on IR to start the season. He just cannot stay healthy. And look, I think Amar Johnson and Israel Ibanaconda are the favorites to make the practice squad. They'll probably keep two there. I look for the Packers to keep 6 wide receivers. That will not include Christian Watson, who I still think likely starts on the PUP list. Now, if he's on the PUP, he'd have to miss 4 games. You know, at first we thought he'd miss 8 or 9 minimum, so that is a more optimistic view, but I still think he starts the season on the PUP. Then you have 5 locks: Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams, assuming, these guys have all struggled with health issues in camp. But then you've got the battle for the 6th spot. I think it's between Malik Heath and Mecole Hardman. I think that Matt LaFleur will go for Heath because of his blocking ability. They have other people who can return kicks and punts, even though Hardman is a former Pro Bowler at that skill. But again, this is a close battle. As of now, I think Heath has an edge. And then I think players like Julian Hicks, Will Shepard, and Cornelius Johnson will battle for 2 spots on the practice squad. At tight end, I think they'll keep 4. It's going to be a battle. Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave are automatic. But then it's Ben Sims and John Fitzpatrick battling for the 3rd spot. I think the Packers like both of them. They both contribute on special teams. I think they'll find a way to keep both on the roster. If not, they will try to get the other on the practice squad. I'm looking at 10 offensive linemen right now. We know it's Zach Tom. Rasheed Walker probably wins the left tackle battle. Jordan Morgan could either be at left tackle or right guard or be the first guy off the bench. The guards, most likely Aaron Banks and Sean Ryan, Elton Jenkins at center. And then, Anthony Belton is going to make the roster. The big question is the depth, because nobody seems to want to claim these depth spots. I mean, right now, I think Donovan Jennings and Kadeem Telford are likely to make it, maybe Jacob Monk, but none of them really have had great camps. I think 7th-round pick John Williams starts on the IR, and then maybe Lasita Smith and J.J. Lippe battle for a spot on the practice squad, but somebody's got to step up. Or maybe Brian Gutekunst brings in somebody after the initial cuts are made. Turning our attention to the defense, I'm looking at 5 defensive ends: Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Barron Sorrell, Brenton Cox, and Kingsley Enagbare, likely the 5. Colin Oliver probably starts the season on IR. And then you have Deslin Alexander and Aaron Mosby trying to stick on the practice squad. Defensive tackle, I think there's also 5, and it's going to be interesting. You have Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden, and then that last spot, 6th-round pick, Warren Brinson versus undrafted free agent Nazir Stackhouse. I think Stackhouse wins this one because he has a different skill set that nobody else on the roster has, that occupy blockers, stand your ground at the line of scrimmage, and free up your teammates to stop the run. I think Stackhouse makes it. They look to put Brinson on the practice squad. Linebackers, I think they go with 5. Quay Walker, Edrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie are pretty much locks. And then the last 2 spots, I think it's Tyron Hopper and Christian Welch. I think Isaiah Simmons has great athleticism, but he just doesn't seem to be able to put it together on the field. I think Jamon Johnson may make the practice squad. Look, I think the coaching staff kind of wants Simmons to play better and make the team. But, you know, he's had some good practices, but in game situations, he just does not seem sharp. Cornerback is a tough situation depth-wise. They're going to keep 5, I think. Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, they are givens. And then I think Bo Melton will get a roster spot, and I think Kalen King beats out Corey Ballantyne for the 5th spot. I think 7th-round pick Micah Robinson ends up on the practice squad, as will Ballantyne or King if they don't, whichever one doesn't make the team. I also see 5 safeties. Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, they're locks. And remember, Bullard will also play in the slot. I think Zane Anderson makes the roster because of special teams. And then I think Keaton Oladapo will fill out that 5th and final safety spot. Omar Brown, who had the 3 picks on family night, he'll likely start on IR after getting hurt in the Colts game. And then the 3 special team spot, these are pretty much locks. Brandon McManus will be the kicker. Daniel Whelan, the punter, and Matt Orzek will likely remain the long snapper. Mark McNamee, who is their international player, he will probably be on the practice squad with an extra spot because of the international player program, but he won't count. And look, I still think kickers should not count in the international player program because so many kickers are originally soccer players from overseas. But hey, you're allowed to do it, and that's what the Packers will likely do. Let us know your opinion about the 53-man roster in the comments. Feel free to do that. Check out our website at thepackerspost.com for articles on the Packers. We go deep every day there. And here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks so much for watching the Daily Packers Post. And, of course, go Pack Go!